Welcome to this high school sports showcase event on the Harvard TV. I'm Don Morrison, my partner Jackie Cummings. Jackie, nice night for lacrosse. It's a little bit chilly, but I don't think the girls are going to mind it too much out there.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it's pretty standard for March lacrosse, and there's no rain or snow, so I take that as a win.
And it's a non-conference game. In other words, Fallston plays in the Chesapeake Division. The John Carroll Patriots are in the IAAM A conference. So it's a non-conference game, but it's a game that has a lot going for it. Early in the season, you want to get off to a good start.
Absolutely. And what's exciting is, Fallston and John Carroll, it's a big Harford County kind of excitement game. More so, I wouldn't call it a rivalry, but because we're in completely different conferences and we don't see each other in the playoffs, but we enjoy playing each other every year.
It's very true. It's sort of like that, let's say, maybe under the radar sort of a rivalry between John Carroll and Fallston. And unfortunately for us, John Carroll does not play many Harford County schools. They're in a different conference, as you said. So it's always nice to see them in a game against a Harford County opponent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're talking about the game tonight. We're coming in Fallston 13-4 last year, got to the state finals for the third year in a row, ran into Liberty for the third straight year, and Liberty took the measure of Fallston, just that cusp of almost getting there. 13-4 last year, a really good season.
Oh, absolutely. It was a good run, and anytime you make it to the state finals, win or lose, it's a good season. And I think this team, because there's so many that have been on varsity for kind of those playoff runs, that they're really looking forward to this season.
Maddie Palco, the head coach for 6 years at Fallston, she has a unique circumstance of having been a student here, graduated in 2005, and now she teaches AP World History, and she coaches. I know you're a teacher, engineering here you teach at Fallston, you're the JV coach. How is it to teach in the classroom and then to coach? Is it totally different, or is it just teaching on another level?
I would say it's teaching on another level. I think part of the joy of coaching is teaching the game and getting that, sharing the love of the game to the next generation. And Maddie Palco and I both have that special bond with Fallston because we both actually got to graduate and play here. And what's really cool is seeing the teaching and the coaching come out on the field for the girls.
So you graduated what year?
2007.
2007.
I'm 2 years behind Maddie.
A couple of years behind. And how has it been coming back to your alma mater? Have you gotten to the point where you can call a teacher Joe rather than Mr. Smith?
Some teachers, yes, and some teachers, I don't think I'll ever make it there because of the bond I had with them. But I think that's what makes Fallston special. We have several teachers who are alumni, and they, it's a community. And you can see it in the Fallston lacrosse community here, especially because we want to share the game with the rec as well as the high school.
Talk about the field, first of all. Folks who don't know a lot about girls lacrosse, 4 12-minute periods. The field 100 yards long, crease to crease, 120 when you count the 10 yards behind the crease. What happens? There's the 5-yard line and the 12-yard line, 8-yard line.
Yeah, the 8 meter.
8 meter. It's meters, not feet. Why do they do that? Come on.
They just like to confuse it,
Confused you already. Tell us about what happens. We were talking about 5 feet in front of the crease and 12 feet in front of the crease. What happens there?
So in the 8 meter in front of the goal, that's kind of where the free position shots will take place. It's called a free position or an 8 meter shot. And those occur when defense will cause a foul inside the 8 meter. Some of those fouls would be 3 seconds. If they're within the 8 meter for more than 3 seconds without a defender, they can get called for that. One you'll see fairly often is going to be a crossbody check or a shooting space call, which will occur more frequently inside the 8 because they're trying to prevent that attacker from going to goal.
If there's a big difference between girls lacrosse and boys lacrosse, it is boys is more of a contact kind of a sport, sort of akin to football in many ways, whereas girls is more of a finesse kind of a game.
Yes.
Would that be a fair way of saying it?
Absolutely. The girls, they definitely focus more on the finesse, the stick work, the footwork, all the movements, whereas in boys, they have that stick work, but they're trying to crank shots from the top of the box, where in girls you can't really do that because it'll fall out of your stick.
There you go. The stick is a little different. The net and the stick is different.
Yes, absolutely. even a girl's head, there's less of a pocket. The boys have a pocket deeper, and which allows them to crank more.
Talking about the teams now and the individual stars, the Cougars are led by senior attack person Ava Lambros. Had 88 goals last year, 23 turnovers caused. Both team leading figures back last year. Junior attacker Sydney Grafton led the team with 38 assists and had 32 goals a year ago. The other attacker, Delaney O'Malley, had 25 goals and 17 assists. So scoring is something that should not be a problem for Fallston.
No, and hopefully our attack shows up and they light up that goal, because that's what makes lacrosse fun. We like to watch the back and forth game with a lot of goals. I mean, a low-scoring game is good for the defense because it means they're doing their job right, but attack is kind of what makes you love the game of lacrosse.
You know, it's kind of interesting. I'm looking at the two teams trying to see similarities, and there are twins, two sets of twins, one on Fallston, one on John Carroll. That's always fun when you get sisters who are not only sisters, but you know, are the same age.
Yes.
They have that bond that holds them together. Unfortunately for your team, one of your twins is out injured, I believe.
Yes, one of our twins has an injury and is unable to play.
Kylie O'Malley, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
But they will be a staple on the sideline and a real game changer for us.
If you're looking at John Carroll, their twins, Julia Ward is their senior netminder, a goaltender, and Lydia Ward is the midfielder. Lydia is their leader with 32 goals last year, so Lydia was on the Team USA 22-23.
Yes.
That's quite an honor.
That is quite impressive, and it's very, very exciting for her.
We talked about the John Carroll Patriots, the fact that they are in the IAAMA conference. They play against just tremendous opposition, game in and game out. Some of the teams they play are ranked in the top 10, not only in the state, but in the country.
Yes, and that's kind of a big difference between public and private, where many of the public schools are not nationally ranked, whereas several private schools, especially with lacrosse in Maryland, are ranked nationally.
We're looking now at the John Carroll Patriots dressed in their dark uniforms with the gold trim being introduced. Piper McHugh, number 10, the sophomore. This attacked young lady last year as a freshman, had 72 draws, 26 goals, 2 assists, 17 turnovers caused, and 12 ground balls recovered. We're talking about a freshman now in her sophomore year, Piper McHugh.
That's impressive.
Haley Lauer, number 25, also Annie Maniglio starting at the attack, and Annie Willie also starting at attack, number 14. In the midfield, it's Lydia Ward, number 4, Grace Marchetti, number 23, number 8 is Natalie Kelly. Sophie Androsky, number 15, is one of the defense people. Anna Westervelt, number 13. Michaela Casey. She's number 17. And Izzy Grabowski, she is number 28. And as we said, in the net, Julia Ward, the senior, 8 saves per game last year, 150 saves on the year. And you know that being a senior leader in the goal, boy, if you had a choice, Jackie, you would want to have a senior in that goal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And a senior goalie really takes control of their defense and will be a staple on that defensive end for your team.
Julia Ward headed for Maryland next year. There you see the rest of the John Carroll team being introduced. Now we're going to meet the Fallston starting lineup.
The senior number 2, Captain Anna Miller.
Anna Miller, one of your captains, headed for UMBC next year. First team All-County in 2022. Great to have her back. She was injured all last year.
Yes, absolutely. Anna worked really hard, and I'm super excited for her to have her senior season and watch what she can do this year. She is going to show you why she was so impressive as a sophomore.
Natalie Skromsky, number 6, a sophomore, also in the midfield. Ilya Galloway, here's a young lady who's a 3-sport star. You just don't, Jackie, see that very often anymore, where you play 3 sports at such a high level.
Oh yes, and Ayla does. Ayla impresses you on every sports team she's on.
We had her on TV and playing basketball this winter, and she's just an outstanding basketball player. Looking forward to seeing her playing lacrosse. Abby Richard is a senior playing defense, number 16.
Number 17, Haley
Haley Meyer, a field hockey player as well, headed for Elizabethtown College next year to play field hockey and lacrosse in college.
Yes, I've had the privilege of coaching Haley for the last 4 years in field hockey.
Wow. Nabby Worth, number 10, junior, also a basketball player. There's Alia Galloway, the young lady we talked about. 62 goals last year, 50 back draws recovered, 16 ground balls, 16 turnovers. Headed for Mercer College to play lacrosse next year.
Senior, number 22, E.K. Roeder.
E.K. Roeder, number 22, senior, also a senior, as we said. Having her in the net certainly makes a difference for you, Jackie.
Absolutely.
Field hockey player headed for UMass Lowell next year.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now to honor our country, here is our national anthem.
And now, will all please rise and face the flag at the south end of the stadium and honor our nation with the playing of the national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Mr. Tom Dixon doing his usual outstanding job as the PA announcer. Talked to Tom earlier. I said, you know, you've been doing this 15 years. How did you get into it? He said, they conned me into it.
That sounds about right.
He said, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And of course, Dave Wren, his trusty sidekick over there. Dave has said he's been around here for 27 years. I never come to Fallston that I don't get greeted by Dave Wren.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as a player here, Dave is a staple, and the sideline doesn't feel complete without Dave on the sidelines. And we honestly wouldn't know how to work the scoreboard without him, because he is the master.
He is that. He is in the Ring of Honor here at Fallston, you know, deservedly so. If you know Fallston, if you've been here, you know Dave Wren. If you haven't met him, just walk up. I don't think he's ever met a stranger, has he?
No, and he will welcome you with open arms, as always.
He's just a great guy. I'm going to ask you if you would, Jackie, introduce the officials, please.
So we have Tom Brush and we have Frank Hanley tonight, and with it not being a playoff game or anything, there's only 2 officials. There will sometimes be a 3 official crew. Typically in playoffs or in big conference games, they'll put a 3rd official to run both sidelines and the middle.
Jackie, you're very familiar with Fallston. If you had to say if it's going to be a good night for Fallston, what are you going to see happen right away?
You'll see kind of it'll be a really good night if they can start with the draw, because control the draw, win the game. But at the end of the day, win or lose a draw, because every every goal means a new draw and reset. So win or lose a draw, they'll be okay, but you'll really know they're firing on all cylinders if they start off strong with a shot or a nice defensive stand.
12 players on each side, 1 goalie, and of course 11 on the field.
Yes.
Normally you have 3 and sometimes 4 attack people, 3 midfielders and 4 defensemen.
Yep, and 7 can only be on either side of defense or attack.
Good point. White clad are the Fallston Cougars, the home team, and in the dark uniform, that's John Carroll. John Carroll going from right to left across your TV screen. Fallston going from left to right. And we're underway here, 12-minute periods. John Carroll with the ball, going down that sideline. What are they trying to do here, Jackie?
So right now they're taking it behind the cage, which we call X. So it gives you the opportunity to kind of see the whole attacking field and see where you have a lane or what's open and really settle the ball before you start cutting and moving.
That was Lydia Ward, number 4, with the ball a moment ago. She's a young lady we're going to keep her eye on all night. Shot on the goal. Boy, nice save in there. That was by E.K. Roeder.
Yes, E.K. And then the John Carroll attacker entered the crease, so they awarded the ball to E.K.
All right, explain that a little bit more deeply, Jackie. She entered the crease, meaning?
So after she kind of made the run, the ball dropped from her stick, and if you cross the crease line in high school right now, you cannot. In the college game, you're allowed to enter the crease as a defender, but attack or defender in the high school game, you cannot enter the crease. It's kind of the goalie only area, and so they stepped into the crease, so that awarded free possession to EK, the goalie.
That was Natalie Worth who brought the ball up, number 10. Got it to the goal, the stick of Elsie Buckner. Fallston on the attack. What are they doing, Jackie?
Right now they look like they're going to do a little motion, a little cut and move, see what they can get off the defense of John Carroll.
Well, that was a nice defensive ride out by John Carroll, Lydia Ward, number 4.
That was a great defensive interception.
Taken away by the John Carroll Patriots. John Carroll located, about 10 miles from here, maybe?
Yeah, probably like a 10-minute drive.
On the outskirts of Bel Air. Here comes the Patriots on the attack. That was Ward that had the ball, number 8. Looks like they may be feeling each other out a bit.
Yeah, in the first quarter especially, you want to kind of settle, see what you can get. Driving is hard and it's exhausting for your team because you feel like you just transition and then you're automatically back to a 50-50 game.
Here comes Ward with the ball, looking for the shot, shoots it, and scores at 9:30 left here in this first period. Number 4, that's Lydia Ward who gets the goal.
Patriots, unassisted, number 4, Lydia Ward, at 9:30 remaining.
We talked about Lydia last year with 32 goals, leading her team in scoring. John Carroll comes in at 1-3-1. Their 3 losses have all been against top 10 teams in the nation. So, when you look at that record, you say, oh, 1-3-1. Yeah, look at the opposition they played. Fallston 0-1, lost, I think, South River last week.
Yes, we only opened our season on Thursday. That was the first official start date.
Here comes a replay on that goal. You'll see Ward, she cuts right through the middle and then beats the goalie, beats her high. The low or the high shot, which is the more difficult to stop, Jackie?
Typically the real difficult spot is that hip pocket because that's an awkward angle for the goalie to react to.
So Ward gets that goal at 9:30. John Carroll up by 1. Remember, 12-minute periods. Running clock normally. I think the clock is not a running clock with 2 minutes left in the half and 2 minutes left in the game.
Yes, so the second and fourth quarter, it'll stop after 2 minutes and below.
Here comes Fallston looking to try to get back even. That's Elise Buckler with the ball, number 8. Catching the ball, you mentioned how the pocket is a lot smaller than the pocket for men.
Yes.
So it's hard to control the ball, I would assume.
Yes, you just have to get used to it, and you got to have it right. Have the right angle on your stick, and as well as have the ball in the right position. Because if you have it too low, it'll be weird.
And a goal. That looked like number 10. That's
Delaney.
Natalie Worth.
It looked like Delaney O'Malley.
Oh, it was 21. Okay. That's Delaney O'Malley. Delaney, who had 25 goals last year, one of the O'Malley twins, the senior.
Yes, Delaney is going to be playing lacrosse in college.
Here's the replay. You'll see how she was able to beat her opponent and then get the shot off left-handed. I guess you have to be sort of ambidextrous and able to shoot left or right.
Absolutely. Depending on the angle, you need to be able to switch to both hands.
So we're tied at 1 now. Lydia Ward scoring for John Carroll and Delaney O'Malley scoring for Fallston. And I guess that's the way we would expect it, the two leaders scoring for each team.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we like to see some days.
You mentioned about the draw, how important it is. John Carroll gets that draw. That's a possession they have. Now Fallston has it.
The John Carroll cross-checked, so they turned the ball over, and that.
Taken away by, and did they call that another cross check?
Oh, that was a check inside the sphere, which is kind of a giant bubble over your shoulders. So if your stick is up in that area, it's protected. So if they check there, then that's dangerous because it could hit your head.
And Jackie, a lot of rules are for safety of the players.
Yes.
It's Abby Howes, number 9, the sophomore with the ball.
Ooh.
And that looks like that is going to go to Fallston.
Yes. That
No
was
penalty.
That was just a weird cut. The way the ball was coming in the defender, it wasn't on purpose or anything. It's just kind of how lacrosse goes.
A nice one-on-one defense there. Looking to try to get the shot off, ball taken away. That was Ava Lambros, number 4, the senior, headed for Flagler College next year. I don't know where Flagler College is, do you?
It's in Florida.
How about that? I think if I had a choice to go to college, it would be in Florida, probably.
Right. So it was about lining up for an 8-meter shot, and the goalie made a save.
Very nice save by Julia Ward, the twin sister of Lydia Ward.
So John Carroll ball, we checked inside the sphere.
Here come the Patriots. We're tied at 1. Lydia Ward had the goal at 9:30. Fallston came back. Delaney O'Malley at 8:31. That's where we are at 1-1. What's the call, Jackie?
Truly not sure.
Have a yellow card against the Cougars for a check to the head.
So that's going to be down a person.
Yes, so
for
it's
2
a
minutes?
2-minute card. They said we checked to the John Carroll. Fallston checked towards the head of a John Carroll player, so they will play 7v6 for the next 2 minutes.
76, meaning 7-1-6.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. So seven John Carroll players versus the 6 defenders for Fallston.
So John Carroll has what they would call in hockey the power play.
Correct.
What you're trying to do if you're Fallston is to just try to
Slow it
wage
down.
those 2 minutes if you can.
Yes.
Fallston retains possession. I should say John Carroll does. That was Lydia Ward who came up with the ball. The goal for John Carroll. And again, if you can get out of that 2 minute, it's a non-releasable penalty, as I believe also.
Yes.
So John Carroll or Fallston will be down that person still.
Yes, but what's nice is it resets at the draw, so Fallston has the opportunity to get the draw and kind of take the ball onto their attack end to try and.
Here's the replay. You'll see Annie Willie making that goal. The wind is picking up a bit. There goes some of our.
Right?
Good catch.
Those hand-eye coordination.
I tell you, it is a little chilly here tonight. Yeah.
Oh yes, and the wind doesn't make it any warmer.
Yeah, out on the field, they're active. They're sure they have shorts on, but they're playing. We're sort of standing here on the stand, so not complaining.
Oh
It's
no.
not raining. It's not, wind's not howling. It's a nice night. Maybe 50 degrees, you think?
Oh, it feels about 50.
Yeah.
The wind might make it a little chillier, but right now it's not too bad.
And as the sun goes down, I can guarantee it'll get a little chillier.
Oh, without a doubt for
This
a
morning,
March day.
2-1, the John Carroll lead. We were tied at 1. John Carroll's taking the lead back. It's Piper McHugh, Piper the sophomore. And I remind you, as a freshman last year, she led her team in scoring. Actually had 26 goals, led them in draws achieved. That's pretty good for a freshman.
Oh, that's really impressive for a freshman.
When I was a freshman, I just wanted to be on the field and sort of remain anonymous if I could.
Hey, as a freshman to be able to make a stand and have a spot to play is impressive.
Oh, yeah. Piper McHugh, we're talking about her. She's a soccer player, a basketball player. She's involved in something called Morganson Message. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I'm actually our club ambassador here at Fallston High School.
So while we're talking about that, John Carroll scores again. 5:31. Let's talk more about that when we have a chance. And we have a chance right now. Tell me about Morgan's Message.
So Morgan's Message is a club that is named after a girl who basically it's to bring mental health awareness to student athletes. And the idea is athletes, they struggle with mental health, and it's kind of like, well, toughen up, you're an athlete, you need to deal with it. And
suck it up.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that mentality. And
Yeah.
so the idea of Morgan's Message is to kind of talk about it and bring light to the fact that you don't have to do that, and it's okay to feel your feels, and not everything's going to be perfect, and how to process that.
And you're the advisor to Fallston for
Yes.
it. That's wonderful. I
And
think a couple of your players are involved with that, right?
several of the varsity and JV lacrosse players are actively involved in Morgan's Message here.
A nice passing. Officials called a halt to it. I'm not sure what happened there. Do you?
So we had a shooting space. Fallston caused a shooting space penalty, so now they're getting a free 8-meter shot.
Okay, so here we come with John Carroll with a chance to up that lead. It's at 3-1. Good chance here to go up 4-1. Nobody on the defense can impede the path to the goal, right? And there is the goal.
Yeah, with an 8-meter shot, you are positioned away, so it gives them a free lane, and then as soon as the whistle blows, you can step, but all the momentum is kind of all going towards the goal.
Well, that was Piper McHugh who had that free shot at the goal, was able to beat the goalie again. Hitting the ball up high, Jackie, as you said, the hardest thing to stop is the ball up high.
Yes, and it's a hard angle, especially if you can throw a fake high or low.
Well, that was Piper McHugh. Now, she had goals at 5:31 and 4:40, so the sophomore has scored 2 goals already here today. 4:40 left in the first period, 4-1. If you're Fallston, Jackie, you got to come back, keep this game in contact. You can't let John Carroll get that far ahead. Fallston with the ball. It was Ava Lambros who came away with it, made the pass, number 4. Officials call a halt to the play. Not sure what that's all about, Jackie.
Not sure. It looks like a player's running off. Maybe she got hit in the hand. It is cold, so when you're going for those ground balls and those draw controls, it can get a little, your fingers can get hit fairly often.
Well, we're back in action now. Fallston looking to have that lead if they can.
We're trying to get some just fluid motion, movement happening with the game.
Good ball movement, moving it from side to side. Almost slipped down. That's Lambros with the ball. Maneuvering. They make it look so easy, Jackie, catching that ball.
It is definitely not.
Yeah.
But when you play as much lacrosse as many of these players do, it's like second nature.
And Jackie, they play, I guess, in club. So when they come to high school, many of them are already experienced players.
Yes. The biggest, I think, challenge sometimes as a coach is to kind of, when they play club all summer and they have certain club rules and then they come back to high school, it's like, that doesn't work here. Well, big one is that fully horizontal stick that isn't allowed in a high school game, whereas club, it's accepted.
Oh, good.
There's a shot and a goal. That's Delaney O'Malley. O'Malley, who scored the first goal, now scores a goal at 3:01 to cut that lead to 4-2.
And that was a beautiful crease roll. She got space from her defender and took it and finished.
Here's Delaney O'Malley. You'll see exactly what Jackie talked about. And the goalie really had no chance at all. Up high on the left side.
Yes, those high shots are very difficult as a goalie.
And Jackie Cummings, that certainly was a big goal. Yeah, it's only one goal, but 4-1, 4-2, big difference. You know, once a team, now you're showing, hey, we can compete with you.
Yes, and you don't want to let the lead get too far.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to keep it manageable so that you're always in the fight.
We mentioned last year in the game played, I guess that was probably at John Carroll, the
Yes, it was.
16-9 score. Sort of a home-and-home situation where we've had from year to year. I was looking at the Aegis and they were rating the teams. They're saying that C. Milton Wright and Fallston, if you had to pick a preseason favorite, they would be the two in the A conference, or in the A, I should say the Chesapeake division of the Upper Chesapeake Athletic Division.
Yes, Simone has some talented players and players who are going to very impressive colleges for lacrosse, which makes them always a fun competition for the season.
Talking about Anna Miller, the young senior who missed her whole junior year last year with an injury. So good to have her back on the team. All county as a sophomore.
Yes, Anna worked really hard, and
Here we go.
Now that's a yellow card against John Carroll, so now Fallston will be playing a person up here for the next 2 minutes.
yes, looks like again another check towards the head. So the refs are really doing a good job of trying to control this.
And that's Natalie Worth, number 10. The basketball player, 2 goals last year, 13 ground balls, headed for VCU College. That's Virginia Commonwealth, I think,
Yes,
down in Williamsburg.
yes, she's very excited. She committed this fall, and so she's looking forward to playing another 4 years after her 4 here at Fallston.
Here comes Fallston now trying to cut into that lead, a person up. If you're John Carroll, how do you stall out this 2 minutes?
You try and protect your zone, keep them outside the 8 meter, because inside the 8 meter, we're going to try and find space in a lane to drive. Whereas if you protect and keep the zone tight, it's harder to get a lane to drive.
Good recovery by Buckler. Here's O'Malley with the ball. Good play by the goalie there. Julia Ward coming out and making that stop. Seconds ticking away on this power play. If you're John Carroll, you're in no hurry at all. You'd like to see that clock just keep moving.
Oh, absolutely. When you're a man down, you want to try and just eat the clock to try and slow the game down and get back to even strength.
Now John Carroll on the attack. Again, down a person, but they are on the attack, and that can't be too much time left in the
Looks like there's about 50 seconds left on the penalty.
John Carroll. They would like to score here, certainly, but they would be happy just to salt that 2 minutes away.
Absolutely.
Good job. She saw she had no angle to the goal. We're talking about Natalie Kelly, number 8. That's Lydia Ward, number 4.
So the refs called a charge as she tried to push through her way through 3 Fallston defenders. So as an attacker, you can't force your way through the play.
So no penalty, it just goes over to Fallston.
Correct.
Still up a person. Couldn't be too much time left in that. Here's a shot and the goal.
And
That's O'Malley again.
it looked like it might have been Ayla Galloway.
May have been. Let's.
Scoring for the Cougars, number
It was very
27,
fast moving.
Ayla Galloway.
Yeah, it's number 25, Ayla Galloway, who makes the goal. And it's unreleasable, is what they call these penalties, so the 2 minute still continues. Here's the goal by Galloway.
Nice feed from Ava Lambros to Ayla. That was beautiful movement.
Galloway had 62 goals last year. Headed for Mercer College to play lacrosse. We mentioned this plays soccer, basketball, and lacrosse.
And she's a playmaker in all 3.
She is that. Really enjoyed watching her in basketball this past fall. Actually, winter, I guess. So 4-3 now as the Fallston Cougars have closed within a goal. They were down 4-1 just a moment ago. And they have the ball. That's O'Malley.
And Ayla with the draw control.
So important to the game.
Looks like another card for the check to the head.
Yeah. So they'll be down 2 players now for the next couple of seconds.
It looks like they're even right now, but they'll start the second quarter with a Man.
Yeah, 9.7 seconds left here in the first period. That penalty will carry over to the second period.
Yes.
Okay. Lights beginning to take effect here at Fallston Cougar Stadium. O'Malley with the ball. That you don't want to see.
No, not when you have 9 seconds left. But
An unforced turnover. And that's the end of the first period.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the score.
4-3 the score. Been an exciting game so far. John Carroll scored first. Fallston tied it at 1. Then John Carroll scored 3 goals in a row to go 4-1. And now Fallston has come back with 2 of their own to make it 4-3. It's an exciting game so far.
oh, this is what every lacrosse player wants to be a part of. You want to be a part of the close games, the back and forth games. No one likes a blowout on either end, but when the games are close, it's exciting, and it's anyone's game right now.
You saw a moment ago a picture of some of the fans here. A nice crowd for a Monday night here at Fallston.
Especially for Fallston, as it's the first official day of spring break for Harford County Public Schools.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so the kids should be out and about and going wherever they want to go. They've decided to come here.
Yes.
I like it. Spring break starts, huh? Now, spring break in the public school is a week long, or?
Yes, so we have the students have today to Easter Monday. We will be off, and then back to school on Tuesday, April 2nd.
Well, very good. Happy that you're with us here at Fallston High School. It is our opening event of the spring season on Harford TV. This, Jackie, believe it or not, is our 30th year doing TV sports in Harford County.
Oh, that's awesome.
30 years. Can you imagine? When we started, some of the people that we had on first are now grandparents.
Oh.
It's a little scary when I walk in. Oh, you had me on TV in 1994. Meet my grandchild. No, that can't be.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I have the DVD of my field hockey TV game my senior year.
Wow. And you won?
Yes.
How about that?
I don't think I would have wanted the DVD if we didn't.
Oh, and was Alice Puckett your coach at that time?
Absolutely.
One of the legendary coaches of Harford County history. Just a wonderful person. You talked about coaches, and I know you like to pattern yourself after coaches like Alex Puckett, who not only won, but won in a very positive way by making kids want to play for her. She was not the kind of person, yeah, she could be tough, but she was not the kind of person that tried to intimidate people.
No, and I often, while I'm on the sidelines or if I'm on the field and I'm coaching, I think if I'm struggling with what I want to do or a decision to make, what would Alice Puckett do?
What would Alice do? I like it.
And I'm lucky that I can call her my mentor and my friend, and I call her often when I'm struggling with a decision or my thoughts, just because she's a nice sounding board.
You know, it's amazing when we talk about coaches and their impact on kids. It goes beyond winning and losing. And like you said, as an adult, you still look to her as your mentor. That's quite a statement.
Absolutely. My first couple of years coaching field hockey here, I was able to coach alongside her, and it was very exciting.
Well, and could you call her Alice? No.
No, absolutely not.
Maybe
She's
Coach, maybe.
Always Puckett.
Oh, that's fun. And, of course, her husband, Mark Puckett, was a great baseball coach here at Fallston for many years. We're underway now in the second period. We have a score of 4-3 as UC with the John Carroll Patriots leading by that single goal.
So John Carroll did officially win the draw, but then they mispassed, and the ground ball went to Fallston.
I'm thinking if you're Fallston, you know you lost last year 16-9. You know the reputation that John Carroll has. You have to prove to yourself that you can play evenly with this team, and I think they were able to do that in that first period.
Oh, yes. When being down by 1 in the first quarter is a great way to start the game.
A little bit of a high pass recovered by John Carroll. You've noticed the teams have switched sides. The white-clad Fallston players going now from right to left. John Carroll. And I guess that 2-minute penalty that we had at the end of the first period is still in effect, so Fallston is still up a person?
Yes, for the next 50 seconds.
Coming up on and past now the 11-minute mark left in the half.
We're very lucky here at Fallston. We got a brand new scoreboard, and it tells us the player and the penalty time now on it, which is very convenient, especially in lacrosse.
And of course, that scoreboard paid for not by school funds.
No,
paid for
Cougar
by,
Boosters. Our Boosters program is great at supporting our athletics for all the athletics.
Yep.
They got scoreboards in the gym as well as on the stadium, and they get uniforms, and they really support our athletics.
Now, you got your turf field not too long ago, fairly recently.
Yes. That was paid through Parks and Recs.
Yeah. About $1 million worth of turf field.
Yeah.
But well worth it when you think about all the sports you can play on it now, field hockey and football and soccer and all the sports that you can play, and doesn't get muddy.
No.
You know, it doesn't get ruts in it.
And you know you can play as long as the weather allows you.
Inside 10 minutes now, left in the half. John Carroll looking to try to go up. Great shot, but a little bit wide. Good job by E.K. Roeder coming out and cutting down the angle. I think the John Carroll player thought she had to hit just the upper right crease and couldn't do it. From the Patriots, looking to get a shot off. Call Jackie, what a push.
Yes, so a push to the back, so John Carroll will take an 8-meter shot, and Fallston will line up to defend.
That means that she gets a free run at the goal. That's a very lonely feeling, and you see what happens.
Yes, the advantage is definitely to the attacker.
Trying to catch a number on that John Carroll player who got the goal.
Natalie Kelly, maybe, number 8.
Here's the replay. You'll get to see if it is Kelly. And that's indeed what it is. That time she went low
To
to
that
the
hip
left.
pocket, yes.
Very, very tough.
It's a very tough angle.
You were not a goalie, were you?
I was not.
I mean, you know, when they say, who volunteers to play goal, you kind of swing. Remember in 5th grade when you didn't know the answer and the teacher said, and you try to, like, disappear behind the person in front of you?
Yes.
When they say, who wants to play goal? No, not me, not
That
me.
was absolutely would have been me on the sidelines. I was like, I just play defense.
Let somebody else do it. You know, but the goalie controls the game like the catcher does in baseball.
Yes.
You know, and you get a special person who loves to play that position. Here comes John Carroll now up by 5-3. Patriots have led all the way. It was tied at 1, but they've led 1-0. They led 4-1, 4-3, and now they lead 5-3.
So that's another 8-meter for John Carroll. Fallston had a full extension on their defense.
That is so tough to play defense without making a penalty.
Oh, yes.
There's the goal again. It looked like number 10, Natalie Worth, who got the goal at 8:26.
Scoring for John Carroll, number 10, Piper McHugh on free position shot.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry. I had the wrong team. Piper McHugh, that's her 3rd goal. She's got the hat trick, and we're not at halftime yet. Here you see Piper McHugh.
That was a great shot.
Great shot up high. Not a chance for E.K. Roeder. Piper McHugh, the sophomore, we mentioned that she was IAAM All-Conference last year as a freshman. Wow, that's impressive.
It really is. As a freshman, and to get that much time on a very talented John Carroll team is super impressive.
Soccer and basketball player, 3-sport star. We mentioned that she was part of the Morgan's Message crusade there at John Carroll.
Sydney Grafton on our attacking end for Fallston is also a big part of the Morgan's Message here at Fallston High School.
All volunteer, right? Nobody makes them do that?
No, they just choose to be a part of it or not.
John Carroll with the lead by 2. Fallston back in that similar position where they're trying to stay close. I mean, a 1-goal deficit, 2 goals, maybe 3. But if it starts getting more than that, then, you know, that's when it gets real trouble. We're at that twilight time too. I would imagine it's a little hard to see the ball out there at this point.
It becomes challenging at times, but you kind of get used to it.
Official stopping play, and John Carroll will retain possession. I assume we're back even now.
Yes.
The penalty has been salted away. Patriots moving the ball around. That's Grace Marchetti, number 23. Oh, nice goal. Is that Marchetti? Yeah, I think it was. Marchetti, who took the ball right at the goalie and was able to put it in.
Number 23, Grace Marchetti scores the unassisted goal.
She had her defenders and she ran. She got a step and she just took it to goal.
That'll make it now 7-3 the score. John Carroll scored all 3 goals here as we've begun this second period. So what was a 4-3 game has suddenly now become a 7-3 game.
On the draw for the Patriots, number 8.
Marchetti is one of those players who's not big of stature. And again, it's one of the great things about lacrosse is big, small, it really doesn't matter. Just being smart, aggressive, fast, and skillful.
Oh, absolutely. In lacrosse, no matter where you are on the field, size doesn't have as much of an impact as your stick and your game IQ and your skills.
Jackie, how long does it take to learn to play the game at an acceptable level where you can actually control the stick, be able to catch the ball and pass it?
It definitely, the more time you put in your stick work, the better your stick handling is going to be. And the game IQ, I really think, really comes at between 5th, 6th grade, whereas that's when the basics have fully kind of developed if you've been playing for a couple years, and then you'll see the game IQ really take off.
We mentioned about how the club level and the high school level are different, but you certainly, I'm sure, oh, here comes the play. A nice defensive play by John Carroll.
Wow, that goalie, that was a great take, but the goalie made a save and it didn't cross the whole goal line, so it doesn't count.
Julia Ward talking about the difference between the two, but it's really a player coming to you. Let's watch this play here as John Carroll shoots. Great save by Roeder.
What a save. Nice ground ball from John Carroll.
Yeah, Roeder went down and made the stop. What I'm trying to get out is it really helps playing a club because you can get experience only by getting experience.
Oh, yes.
And so you kind of play the game like anything. But I'm thinking this game is so skillful, unlike track and field where, native ability comes in. The skills in this game are so tough.
Oh, absolutely. Where the more you play and the more you have a stick in your hand and getting that exposure to the equipment is a real kind of game changer for a player. Fallston's transitioning very nicely.
The turf monster sort of tripped her up there.
That turf monster does come up sometimes where your feet just kind of get stuck in between you.
Losing the ball, and John Carroll has it now. Looking to try to go up by 5 goals. You have that 4-goal lead at this point. Just seems like, a minute ago that it was 4-3 and Fallston had the momentum. It certainly has turned around.
The game of lacrosse can do that sometimes where a couple runs and it feels so different.
Momentum, the mother mo, as they like to talk about it. Patriots have dominated here. Not only have they scored, but they've kept the ball down on this end of the field almost the entire second period.
Oh, yes, and they are trying to drive right now.
There's a shot and the goal. For that shot over the left side, I think that was...
Number 2, Annie Miniglio scoring for the Patriots.
Annie Miniglio is the scorer. That's her first goal, number 2, Annie Miniglio.
She did a crease roll from behind and got a step on her defender and got that goal.
That goal at 4:17, so 4 goals have been scored here in the second period, all 4 by John Carroll.
In the game for the Cougars, number 13, Olivia Parker.
8-3 is the score. And again, if you went to get a beverage from the refrigerator, about 3 minutes ago, and you come back, you say, whoa, it was 4-3. What's happened? You missed it.
Yes.
John Carroll has really come on. Patriots 1-3-1, as we said, and again, they played just top competition all 4 of those contests. Was the game last year, Jackie, also early in the year against John Carroll?
Yes, it was, I want to say, our second or third game. So
this being the second game, your home opener, if you will.
yes. It was a little different to open when students weren't in school today.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't realize that I'd sort of not being involved with the school anymore, that this was a holiday up high. The players rushed to that out-of-bounds line. Explain to folks why.
So on a shot, the closest player to the ball from the shot as it crosses the end line gets possession of the ball.
Yeah.
So often it is attack because attack should be positioned.
There's another goal. That looks like number 4, Lydia Ward, with another goal.
It looks like the ref blew the whistle.
Ah.
So they are doing a free position 8-meter shot
Okay,
instead.
so take away the goal. Oh, what a great save by Roeder.
EK with a beautiful save.
EK Roeder, 157 shots on goal last year. She made 77 saves. 45% of the shots on goal she was able to save. You think 45%, that's less than 50%, but that's pretty good.
That's pretty good on lacrosse because look, there's a lot of shots.
Yeah, and a lot of room. That crease looks like it's kind of small. What's it, about 6 feet tall?
Yes, it's not very big, and the goal takes up most of the back half, so there's not that much space in front, and the ball is so small that it's hard to kind of own the whole cage.
The ball's solid rubber, kind of the size of a baseball, maybe a little smaller than a baseball.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. I've
Yeah.
never really.
I found a lacrosse ball, much to my, didn't know what it was when I was a kid. We're talking about the 1950s. And boy, it was great for practicing as a shortstop because you could hit it against the wall and it takes crazy bounces.
It would come right back.
I said, what kind of ball is this? I love it.
And we have 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 2 minutes.
2 minutes remaining, 1:55 and counting now. If you're Fallston, you want to score here. Obviously, you want to get this closer. Just wide of the goal.
Anna Miller with the shot. Sydney Grafton got the ball right behind the cage, so Fallston maintains possession.
Anna Miller, the young lady who missed all of last year. Now the shot has
Beautiful.
one. A nice save by Ward.
That was a beautiful save.
Wow. That shot was a bullet, but Ward was able to get down and stop it. Jackie, goalies wear some protective equipment, but not a lot.
Yes. So they have to have leg pants or like kind of shorts that have padding in them. They have to have a chest protector and certain chest protector because it has to have kind of a harder plastic in the center of your chest. And then their helmet, their gloves. And then some will wear shin protectors and some won't.
Jackie, somebody who really shoots a hard shot, how fast is that ball coming? Do you know? Miles per hour?
In girls lacrosse,
Yeah.
kind of a top shot would probably be in the 70s, 70 miles per hour-ish in that range, whereas it's much faster in a boys lacrosse because the net and they have more torque.
Yeah. There's a shot a bit wide. 28 seconds now. Right now, if you're Fallston, you'd like to get to the halftime, go in and regroup. And again, if you're Becky Palco, what would you say to your team at halftime?
I'm sure Maddie Palco is probably going to tell her team to settle. There's a lot of time left, and to regroup.
Oh, no, there's the goal with 8 seconds left. Well, just when we're talking about getting to halftime and regrouping, John Carroll comes up with a loose ball. I think I called her Becky. I should have said Maddie. Sorry about
There's
that.
a Becky on the
Palco.
sideline, too. It's okay.
8.3 seconds.
26, Kayla Jivo.
The goal was by number 26 and I'm looking for my roster here. I think that's a substitute who came in for John Carroll. That goal at 8 seconds left. Here's the replay. You'll see the loose ball taken out of the air and shot.
It looks like
26, doesn't it?
Yeah, 26. It looks like a Kayla DeVue.
Yeah. Yeah, Kayla DeVoe, huh? Who just came in the ball game, not one of the starters. So that goal now makes it 9-3. So in this period, it's been all John Carroll. Again, it was 4-3 entering the second period, and now it's 9-3. You talked about momentum. Boy, that is so tough to stop that tide that's going against you.
It's very hard to kind of get the momentum when you're constantly playing defense. So
Again, we talked about Coach Palco, what she's going to tell her team. If you were coaching and talking to your team, you'll say you're down 9-3. What do you do?
I think you take one draw at a time, and they're going to focus on fundamentals. It's definitely doable, and there's no doubt about that. You just have to go one draw at a time, possess the ball, and make smart decisions.
Well, that's a great point. You can't make up 6 goals in 1 minute. You've got to do it one at a time, chip away at it, get the game close, and then go from there.
Absolutely.
Well, hope you've enjoyed it so far. We're going to come back with second half activity. Don't go away. It is Fallston trailing John Carroll by 9-3 at their half. We'll be right back after this. Back with you here at Fallston High School, where the John Carroll Patriots have taken a 9-3 halftime lead. Again, what had been a 4-3 contest at the end of the first period suddenly became a blowout at this point for John Carroll, as they scored 4 goals actually. No, check that, 5 goals in the second period. So far, Piper McHugh, the outstanding sophomore for John Carroll, has scored 3 goals. She has the hat trick already. For Fallston, Lydia Ward has 2 goals. She had those 2 goals in the first period. Again, the game was a tight back and forth game for those first 12 minutes, and then when the 12 minutes disappeared, suddenly John Carroll, the momentum just started going for John Carroll, and didn't stop until the halftime whistle blew. In fact, that goal, Jackie McCummins, you're back here with us. Thank you for getting back here so quickly. You have to take your daughter to feed your daughter?
I know, I'm sorry. And then I stopped and talked to my principal.
Oh, it happens. Oh, well, yes. Mr. Collins, I call him Mr. Collins because, Joe and I go way back to when he was the basketball coach here at John Carroll back in the day. And then he's been principal. I guess he was a principal at Hartford Tech for a while.
Yes, he was there for 10 years, and now he's been here.
Now he's here, yeah. A great young man. I call him young man. Everybody's young compared to me, but I still think of him as the basketball coach here at Fallston for so many years. So, what did Mr. Collins have to say? Anything?
We were catching up because today I had professional development, so I wasn't here at Fallston High School. I was actually with my content for the day, getting kind of prepared for the end of the school year.
Doesn't he realize that you have a gig here for Hartford TV? What is he? What are you on your own time? He's still harassing you?
Oh no,
Just
not at
kidding,
all.
just kidding.
We like to talk, and I was just updating him on the things I learned, and it was kind of cool.
Well, very good. We're ready to start here our second half, 12-minute quarters, of course, and John Carroll looking to build on that lead at 9-3. And again, you mentioned it, Jackie, so well, and that is don't try to get 10 goals at one time. Get 1 goal at a time. Turn the momentum around. You proved you could do it in the first period if you're Fallston.
Oh.
You were so close.
Absolutely, and I think it just takes one.
It seems like when Fallston had a person up and weren't able to score, that seemed to be turn the momentum around, that John Carroll then was able to start that flow of goal scoring.
That definitely seems kind of like that tipping point, but right now a nice defensive stance or a good defensive unit play would be kind of a way to shift the momentum a little bit. That was a great save by EK.
It was EK Roeder making the save.
It looks like they're awarding an 8-meter shot to number, is that 12?
Hard to see from this angle. Laura Seaford, here's the shot.
And we got another save from EK.
EK Roeder with another great save, the senior making the stop. We talked about what you would, if you're Coach Palka, what you would say at halftime. If you're Coach Seaford, you're up by 9-3. Just tell your team, hey, relax, right? We got this in the bag, right? I don't think so.
I don't think you can really kind of, in lacrosse, there's no time to really take your foot off the gas until you have a comfortable lead. And because this game is so quick and the momentum can change so fast, it's really hard to get comfortable.
We're watching March Madness recently, and of course the Maryland Terrapin women's team that had a 20-point lead the other night, and they lost it by 7.
It looks like the ref is calling the goalie for entering the crease again, but it looks like the ball was dropped outside the crease. So I'm really confused on that call.
We're not close enough to ask the official the question, so we have to take his word for it.
Yeah, I can't really see down there.
So he's giving the ball back to John Carroll.
And that's a great defensive stop.
Patriots come back with it again. Boy, they are relentless.
Those are game changers where you make a good defensive stop and you feel like you're accomplished, but then you can't get that ground ball to get it out of your defensive end.
Yeah.
She's trying to crease roll.
Oh, great shot. It looked like number 8. I'm unable to see the numbers from this far a distance, but we'll get the replay here.
Not sure.
Scoring for John Carroll.
I missed Mr. Dixon's comment too. If it's 8, it's Natalie Kelly. Did you see that, Jackie, who scored it?
It looked like number 2, maybe.
If that's 2, that's that would be Annie Maniglio. Here we'll see it. Yeah, it is number 2, and that's Annie Maniglio. Annie gets her second goal of the game, and that puts John Carroll up by 10-3 now with 9:15 left in this third period. Well, she would just not be denied. We're talking about Maniglio.
We got a nice draw control for Fallston. Delaney O'Malley came up with the draw.
And again, Jackie, as you're saying, if you're Fallston, you're looking for positives now?
Yes, so right now you have the ball on your attacking end. You want to just settle, make a good choice, take the ball for a good shot. No need to rush. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, you do. And again, we're emphasizing that one goal at a time. Obviously, it hurts to give up that goal against John Carroll. You wanted to be able to keep them where they were and chip away at it. Jackie Cummins, we talked about this team, Fallston, who has been to the state finals 3 years in a row in the Class 1A. Lost to, Liberty, I think, all 3 times?
Yes.
And so the goal, obviously, is to, first of all, win the Chesapeake Division, win that part, but it's to get back to the playoffs, and this time to get over the hump. Speaking of that, at halftime, you weren't here to see it. Well, let's take a break while we see the shot, and there's the goal.
It looks like Anna Miller with that 8-meter shot.
Anna Miller, the young lady who, again, missed all of last year, scores a goal for the Fallston Cougars. And that breaks the skene and had now gone to 6 goals in a row. And now, finally, Fallston is able to score at 8:04 left in the third period. Here's your replay. Miller makes that shot down low, gets it past the goalie. Jackie, what is the odds for making a goal in that free shot?
The odds are definitely in the attacker's favor. It's really all dependent on if you kind of throw a fake on your 8-meter shot and how fast you can take it, because the longer you wait and the closer you get to the crease, there's going to be more defensive pressure, as well as the goalie is more able to kind of stuff you in the sense of they can stick their stick in front of you to block the shot.
Jackie, you've got a close-up view of the draw there just a moment ago, and how important is that? Because you get the draw, you get possession. Yes. If you get the draw, let's say 75% of the time, then you get 3 out of 4 possessions over your opponent.
Yes, the draw is the game changer. Win the draw, win the game is what I kind of live by in lacrosse season, because so much changes if you can't win the draw.
And if you get somebody who's good at the draw, I mean, what is there that makes you good at the draw? Here's a Another goal by John Carroll. Boy, they are just relentless. They do not stop the pressure. So Fallston scores. It looks like we're...
Annie Manolio scoring.
It looks
for
like
John Carroll. Her
We're-
third
number
goal
2
of the game.
again.
Yeah, Maniglio, who scored the last goal, scores her second goal, and now third goal of the game, but second here in the second half.
She's making a lot of runs and crease rolls and really getting a step on her defender.
I started to say a moment ago, and I was rudely interrupted by the goals. But let's watch this first of all. Maniglio is able just to beat the goalie and be able to get it where the goalie could not reach it. We watched at halftime where the Fallston Championship cheerleading team got their trophy. So, yeah, cheerleading is a sport, and I'm so proud of the Fallston young ladies because they've been getting better and better and better, and now they've gotten over the top, over the point, and now they are the state champions for the winter division. Proud
Yeah.
of them.
So yes, we hosted the cheerleaders who won the fall championship for their 1A division.
Yeah, it was the fall, not the winter.
Yes,
Right?
we don't actually have a winter cheerleading team.
Huh.
That's, from my understanding, it's when a lot of our cheerleaders are on their club teams or their competitive teams, so that's competition season.
Okay.
Looks like Anna Miller will take another 8-meter shot here. Looks like a shooting space call.
Anna Miller, that time she loses the ball on the way in. That's you'd like to have that back. Well, nice takeaway by Fallston.
Ayla Galloway with the check.
Yeah!
And then it looks
Team
like
shot!
she checked the John Carroll defender who was trying to clear the ball and possess the ball. However, then she got checked and then got her ball back.
Yeah.
A lot of changes happening quickly.
Galloway is just an outstanding athlete. It's hard to describe her ability. That's a nice play by John Carroll to be able to go back to the goalie and clear it that way. First time I've seen him do that.
Yes, it's especially inside the crease. If the goalie's in the crease, they can. Wow.
What speed, huh?
Yes. Very
Looking for a
impressive.
number. Is that Maniglio?
Looks like number
Number
3.
3. And that's somebody, again, who wasn't a starter.
Number 3.
That is some speed coming up that sideline.
Looks like Emmy King for John Carroll.
Well, Emmy King was a blur, I'm telling you. She came up this near sideline and outran about 2 or 3 of the Cougars.
Turnover, so Fallston will try and work the transition to clear the ball.
Here come the Cougars. Down 11-4, they were trailing 9-3 at the half. Fallston trying to get the ball away. This is Maniglio, number 2. Ward, number 8, passes it. John Carroll in no big hurry at all. Jackie, is there a penalty for delay or for stalling?
Not right now in public schools. In private schools, they have a shot clock, so the shot clock kind of forces you to have to do something within your 80 seconds. But in high school, in public schools, we do not have a shot clock. So they could possess the ball, but there's still a lot of time left.
It's Natalie Kelly, number 8. That's a young lady, the Maniglio, number 2, with the ball. But John Carroll has now possessed it for, it looks like, about a minute. Of course, time is on their side, leading by that 11-4 score.
Good hustle, good hustle.
That was an empty check on Fallston, so John Carroll's ball.
What is an empty check?
So when you go to scoop the ball as an attacker or a defender, if you're trying to scoop through the ball, and then if you don't fully have the ball in your stick and it's someone else checks it to try and get the ball out of it.
Okay.
But if it's empty, it doesn't work.
Good defensive play by Fallston.
John Carroll will take an 8-meter shot.
Yeah.
Called for a shooting space violation.
It looks like, is that number 4 with the, nope, from the side. And the goal is scored at the 3-minute mark. That makes it 12-4.
Scoring on the free position, number 8, Natalie Kelly.
And Natalie Kelly, number 8, with the goal. That goal coming at 3 minutes left here in the third period. 12-4 the score, 3-1 in this period. Cougars now facing a very uphill battle. I guess, you know, the whole thing about we may not win this game, okay, but we're going to play this game until the end. We're going to play hard. I mean, as a coach, you try to motivate your players to say, hey, look, you know, it's going to be a tough uphill climb, but you've got to play it every play, you know, to the best of your ability.
Absolutely. And every coach, that's all you want to see from your team, win or lose, no matter what. You want to see that mental toughness. You want to see them battle back and fight together as a team and a unit and not kind of break from the pressure.
You know, the good thing about this being a non-conference, non-league game, it doesn't count in the standings for either side. So it's almost like an exhibition game that you're playing. If you're Fallston, you know you're playing top competition. They will not play a team of this caliber all year long. And if you're John Carroll, you know that Fallston is one of the co-favorites to win the Chesapeake Division Conference. And so you know you're getting a good workout for your you know, IAAM season.
Absolutely. And what's exciting about a tough game in the beginning of the season, it really shows you what you have and where you need to work on.
Not that you want to lose any game. I mean, it's always, somebody told me, and I think it's true, that the losses hurt more than the wins feel good.
I agree.
You know, and
Absolutely.
you lose a ball game, especially I remember as a coach, if I lost a game, baseball was my sport, 2-1, I would replay that game all night long. If I lost it 10-0, I'd be mad, but hey, we had no chance. But 2-1, you think, gosh, if I'd done this or done that.
Yeah, the what ifs. Those
A nice play by Fallston to be able to.
nice save by EK, and
Yep.
now we can reset.
And John Carroll has the ball again. I think I've used the word many times, relentless.
Yes,
It seems like they are just always
on attack.
on attack. And they're so talented throughout their lineup. There's not one person you can pick on and try to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no real like, oh, we'll face guard this person and it'll change. It's
Yeah.
they're all talented and they're all gonna change the game.
Obviously, Piper McHugh, who has that hat trick in the first half, certainly the player that you look to as the top scorer.
And another great save by EK.
E.K. Roeder, the senior, also a field hockey player.
Yes, EK played field hockey for me.
Was she a goalie in field hockey as well?
She was not. She actually played a little kind of everywhere, if you want to be honest. She played a little defense, a little midfield, a little attack. You know, she got it all.
Good. And she's headed for UMass Lowell.
Yes. She's
What
going-
attracts her to going up to the cold country?
She loves the school. She's very excited. And EK is actually one of our Project Lead the Way engineering students here.
Uh-huh.
And she's going to be studying engineering there.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Let's see, there's no flag.
The refs called a charge on Fallston, so it's a John Carroll ball.
Okay.
Charging is the call against the Cougars.
It's kind of like in basketball when you see that charge block. Sometimes it's hard to determine whether the player charged or was blocked.
Yep. Looks like John Carroll stepped out of bounds, and so Fallston will take the ball.
And that ends the third period
And that is
with
the
our
end
score
of the
12-4.
third quarter of action.
9-3. It was 4-3 at the end of the first period. It was 9-3 at the half, and now it's 12-4. John Carroll has led all the way since it was tied at 1 early in the game, 4-3 at the end of the first period. And that 4-goal outburst that John Carroll had back there in that second period sort of put this game away. especially I think the one that hurt the most was if you're Fallston, is that goal right at the end of the
Yeah,
half?
sometimes those can sting the most because you're looking at the clock trying to get out of the quarter, and then that one stings kind of.
Especially when they were able to steal the ball. It came out of nowhere. We were all thinking about, okay, it's halftime, we can regroup. And John Carroll was able to steal the ball and get the goal. So that's where we are now with 12 minutes left in this contest. The opening game of the year for the Fallston Cougars as far as their home schedule is concerned. John Carroll, and I guess the girls after this will be able to enjoy their spring break, or they're going to be practicing, or do you know?
Well, they actually have a tournament on Thursday,
Wow.
so their spring break is kind of occupied for lacrosse this year.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happens in high school for varsity levels, as well as like college. You don't have a spring break if you're playing at the college level because you're playing lacrosse.
And as for coaches, obviously the players are playing, but you're coaching as well. So that spring break that, a lot of the people are thinking, hey, I get away a little bit, I can go do what I want to do. You're going to be here coaching, which you love anyhow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, coaches don't coach for the money. You coach for the love of the game and for the kids. It's always about the kids.
You told me that you had been teaching for 11 years. Does it seem like 11 years, or has it gone by in a flash?
It goes by very fast. And I'm lucky that I have had the opportunity to teach at Fallston, and I love what I do. I love what I teach, and I enjoy every minute of it.
It's called a signature program. Some people think, well, what is that? Unlike a magnet program where you draw kids from all over the county, signature means that it's only Fallston students, but they can choose to take this field of study.
Correct.
What kind of student would be taking engineering?
So the PLTW engineering program is really kind of geared towards the student who is thinking they want to do engineering in college, and it's a more rigorous program, and it allows them to gain a good foundation of the engineering.
Okay, so they take their regular AP courses, let's say, in English, and then they come to you for what, a special class?
So they'll take like Intro to Engineering Design, they'll take Engineering Design and Development, Principles of Engineering, Civil Engineering, and Digital Electronics.
Wow. And you teach all of that?
I do not teach all of them. I teach Intro to Engineering Design and Engineering Design and Development.
Wow. Sounds like a very challenging course of study, and something I'm sure that's very rewarding.
Oh.
And you probably get a lot of students who are dedicated. In other words, that's what they really want to do.
Yes,
They've identified
and it's very exciting to kind of see them thrive in that field and find their love for it.
Yeah, and to find something that really turns them on in terms of their academic pursuits, that's a great thing.
Yes.
So there's a game going on here while
Yes,
we're
sorry.
chatting about school, which is the #1 job that these students have. And I think that's what people have to understand, that these dedicated athletes are really students. They're student athletes. Nice save. And the second shot misfires as well.
Yes, it looks like, so Ava Lambros was awarded an 8-meter shot. The goalie made a fantastic save. And then is working on the clear right now.
That's Julia Ward, the goalie, the twin sister of Lydia Ward. Well, if you have two players, two seniors like that, or Team USA, oriented type players, that's certainly a big advantage. I wanted to ask you about twins, that common bond that they have. Have you seen that with your twins, with the McNally twins?
Yes, the O'Malley twins, they have that. There's just something special about the twin sister bond where they relate to one another in a different way.
Yep. We're hoping to see, is it Caitlin O'Malley, who is, did I say her name correctly, who's been injured?
Kylie O'Malley.
Kylie O'Malley, thank you. We're hoping that she can get back before the end of the year.
That the goal is that they're going to make.
Oh, good save!
They're going to try their best.
Great save by Roeder. Yeah, especially in your senior year. I mean, that's the time that you can showcase your ability and go out, to be able not to play or not be able to play. That has to be a double hard thing for her.
Oh, absolutely. It looks like John Carroll was awarded. Fallston was carded. It looks like another check to the head.
That is a 2-minute penalty.
So 2-minute penalty, and John Carroll will be playing a man up, a person up here for the next 2 minutes. I think it's interesting too. It's unreleasable, meaning that if you score a goal, that doesn't release your
It just
your
keeps
penalty.
happening.
I think in soccer, most times they're releasable if it's not been a particularly egregious foul.
Yes. In boys lacrosse, there's also the non-releasable and releasable penalties.
Fallston moving the ball. I should say John Carroll. We talked about the differences between the two games, and they are quite different. Not only the equipment, but the way the game is played. I think it's 12 girls on the field as compared to 10 boys in lacrosse.
Yes. So, and the boys have a box where the girls kind of have the 8-meter and the 12. And they keep 3 back and we keep 4. It's a little different.
Yep, similar, but a little different. Mr. Al Seski, the father of Dave Seski, who was the athletic director here for many years, brought lacrosse to Harford County back in the 1970s. And I can remember, again, as a baseball coach, not being particularly thrilled that they brought lacrosse in. I can remember teaching and coaching at Aberdeen, and Al Seski came around and talked to one of my players to see if he wanted to play lacrosse. The player's name was Cal Ripken Jr. And I said, Mr. Seski, with all due respect,
He's not coming.
he's not playing lacrosse. This young man is, I think, has a future, maybe. Hall of Fame, perhaps. Oh, goodness.
So right now, Fallston's just trying to kill the penalty right now because there's still 20 seconds left on their card. So they have the ball in their attacking end, which is their advantage. But right now, they're trying to have the penalty finish.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying, well, you're stalling, you're down by 8 goals. Again, realistically, to score 8 goals in 7 minutes, it could happen, but probably not. So you just want to play the game well, limit the damage if you can.
Yes. Right now, you just want to kind of see how your team responds and can handle the pressure and make good choices and finish. So Olivia Parker looks like she'll line up for her 8-meter shot. We had a cross-check to the body.
And Fallston being down a person, right?
They're even now.
Oh, it's even now, okay. Well, a nice, great save by Ward. I guess as a goalie, you almost have to anticipate where they're going to take the shot because you can't react quick enough, to get to the ball unless you've anticipated where it's going to go.
John Carroll stepped out of bounds, it looks like, so Fallston receives possession.
Jackie, you played field hockey and lacrosse. The two are, I guess, akin to one another in terms of the aggressive play. Totally different sports, obviously.
Yes.
Did you have a preference, one or the other?
I'm definitely a field hockey player who played lacrosse. So field hockey was my kind of. I enjoy them both. Obviously, I'm involved in both of them still to this day, but hockey has my heart.
Do you think that field hockey and lacrosse, typically young ladies play those two sports?
Yes.
There's a goal, by the way, while we're
That was a
chatting about that.
beautiful feed, and it looks like Delaney O'Malley fed to Ayla Galloway, maybe?
Let's see if we'll get a chance to see the
Scoring
replay.
for the Cougars, number 27, Ayla Galloway.
Yeah, Galloway,
There it is.
good job.
So Delaney O'Malley kind of fed from that 8-meter elbow, and Ayla Galloway cut through the middle of that 8-meter for a beautiful shot.
6:16 left here in the game. Our only goal so far in this fourth period of play.
Which is pretty impressive since
Yeah.
we're almost halfway through.
Yeah.
Natalie Shromsky
Exactly.
with the assist.
Goalies are coming
for
up
the
with some big saves.
12-5 the score. Again, 4-3 at the period, 9-4 at the half. 12-4 at the end of 3 periods, and now it's 12-5. Jackie, then oh my goodness, a collision there at the 40-yard line.
Yes.
Both players are up and none the worse for wear. It's been a contest where we've seen outstanding players on both sides. It's not been like, okay, a sloppy game. These two teams have really demonstrated early in the year as it is, the fact that they're going to be teams to be reckoned with in the IAAM for John Carroll and, of course, in the Chesapeake. Roeder with the save.
Beautiful save.
It was. She has made some wonderful saves as E.K. Roeder. Been under the gun for the entire game.
They've definitely been on defense a lot.
Really, and I'm not just doing that to kind of puff these young ladies up in terms of their play, but I've been impressed with the skill on both sides.
Fallston receives possession from a charge on John Carroll.
And they're still playing hard. It's not like either team is saying, well, let's just coast to the end of this game. Yeah, it's out of reach. It's 12-5, but
that's what you want to see as a coach and as a team. Playing hard to the end is a real proud moment for a coach.
Yeah. And of course, as an athlete, you don't want to disgrace yourself by, sloughing off, if you will.
You don't want to give up. You want to play hard.
And I'm sure these young ladies have probably played on club teams together or against one another.
Oh, absolutely.
So even though John Carroll, as we said, doesn't play the county teams per se very often. Nice goal, boy. That was a quick pass and a catch and a shot without really too much of it going on.
That was a fantastic feed from Sydney Grafton from behind the cage to Ava Lambros cutting through the 8.
On the assist, number 26, Sydney Grafton.
So Lambros with the goal at 4:28. So if, again, you're looking for positives, Fallston is winning the fourth period 2-0.
Yes.
I don't think they'll let you do that, but 12-6.
Can't break it up each quarter, but.
But again, as you have mentioned a couple of times, showing this kind of grit, even though you are pretty much out of the game, I think it's impressive.
Absolutely. And, I mean, lacrosse is a fast game. It takes about 18 seconds to score a goal from the draw to the circle.
Really? Unless you make a pass all the way downfield.
Yes, which is not.
Not too likely.
So right now, John Carroll is going to possess the ball and probably going to slow it down a little bit and be patient to try and eat some clock.
Jackie, when does your season start in terms of your Chesapeake Division opponents? Do you know?
Next week, we play North Hartford.
And at C. Milton Wright, you have that game circled on your calendar?
Always.
It's fun having rivals. You mentioned John Carroll is sort of an under-the-radar rival in terms of Fallston, but C. Milton Wright, Bel Air, now we're talking real rivals.
That's where the heart of this schedule is.
It's great fun. We always talk about when Aberdeen plays Haverty Grace. Forget the records. It's going to be a real battle.
Oh yeah.
So when Fallston plays either Bel Air or C. Milton Wright, I would assume that's when you say, yeah.
Everybody's out.
Everybody's out. Oh, great shot. Up high in the goal.
That looks like number 8.
Yep. For John Carroll, number 8. That's Natalie Kelly.
She's had a couple goals, I believe.
She has. She had the last goal in the third period, and now scores the goal here in the fourth period at 3:10 left in the game.
Scoring for John Carroll, number 8, Natalie Kelly.
13-5 is the score. I think that's Kelly's third goal. She had a goal in the second period, one in the third, and now one here in the fourth. So she now has the hat trick as well. Natalie Kelly, who had 8 goals last year. Natalie is a senior. Led her team with 20 assists, 29 turnovers caused, and 44 ground balls recovered last year as a junior.
Those are some solid stats.
Yeah. John Carroll went into the playoffs last year in the IAAM, won the first game, then lost in the quarterfinals. So obviously they'd like to go further as well. Just I mean, it's like a gauntlet in that league to be able to play game after game. Fallston getting the shot and the goal.
Anna Miller got the ground ball.
And got the goal as well.
Yes.
Anna Miller.
Scoring for Fallston, number 2, Anna Miller.
That is her second goal of the game.
Scoring her 3rd goal of the game.
Checked in, a 3rd goal of the game. Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Very nice.
13-7 is the score. Again, very impressed with Fallston, how they've come out and played so tough here in this 4th period. And I don't think it's that John Carroll is sort of relaxed. I think that Fallston has just found its footing.
And sometimes it takes a game or two to get really kind of the momentum going and the groove and figuring out your team and your unit.
Yeah, you just had played one game this year against South River. That was last week.
Yes, that was Thursday.
So as you said, it's still very early in the year where you're really trying to find your footing. 2:30 left in this contest. Great passing, great job. My goodness.
That was a feed from behind. Nice cut off your defender.
I'm not sure that E.K. Roeder saw that ball until it was by
It
him.
happened quick.
That makes it 14-7. See if we can see who scored that goal for Fallston. Apologize, we're about 75 yards away from the action.
Number
Sometimes
22, Claire Moffitt, scoring
I was
for
saying
the
it's number
Patriots.
22,
On the assist,
and she is not one of the starters, so
Claire
here's your
Moffitt,
replay.
it says.
Clara Moffitt, and that's just a great goal. She came around that corner, and again, I don't think E.K. Roeder even saw her before she put it in. So Moffitt gets the goal. That coming at 2:24 left in the contest. Now makes it 15-7. Or actually 14-7.
John Carroll won the draw.
Been impressed with the speed of these John Carroll players. Another goal for John Carroll. And that will make it 15-7 with 2 minutes left in the contest.
Number 16, Izzy Boyle, scoring for John Carroll.
Number 15 is, did he say 15?
I think 16 maybe?
16, I think he
Izzy
said, yeah.
Boyle.
And we
Yeah,
have
Izzy
exactly
Boyle,
2 minutes
yeah,
remaining in
For the goal.
regulation.
And again, these young ladies are not starters, so we're looking down our roster to see exactly who they are. Get a nice close-up of the draw here.
Number 5, Kayla Houseman in the game for Fallston.
Anna Miller with the draw for Fallston.
Anna Miller, the young lady who's so happy to be back on the field after missing all of last year.
And she is very excited to be back.
First team All-County as a sophomore back in 2022. Fallston looking to score at least one more goal.
We got a good movement happening.
Coming up on the 1 minute mark left in the game. Sure hope you all have enjoyed watching this lead-off event as we kick off the 2024 spring season. And Fallston scores a goal with 52 seconds left in the contest.
A nice crease roll from
Goal for the Cougars.
Ava.
Number 4, Ava Lambro.
Lambros with the goal. Ava Lambros, who had 88 goals last year. That seems that's a lot of goals in 1 year.
It's definitely a lot of goals. It's impressive.
Flagler College. Where in Florida is that? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
But it is in Florida.
I believe.
Again, if I had a choice of which college I was going to go to, I think I would choose a Florida college. Just
Nice warm
nice
area.
weather. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 15-8 is our score as the clock winds down into the 42nd period. A lot of subs in the game for both sides. Jackie Cummings, I want to thank you so much for stepping in here and doing a great job.
Thank you
It's been
for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you so much. Somebody said you were nervous to start out.
A little bit.
No. I say if you can stand in front of a classroom and teach, nothing should make you nervous. Maybe a firing squad. That would make me a bit nervous. But 5 seconds left. And this will be the end of the ball game.
And ladies
15-8
and gentlemen,
is the
that
final
the end of
score
our game
as the
this
John
evening
Carroll
with the
Patriots
final
go to
John Carroll
2-3-1 on the year. Fallston falls to 0-2. Jackie Cummings, just a outstanding display of talent on both sides.
Oh, absolutely. This was a great game for March 25th in the very beginning of the high school season.
It's going to be so good to look back on the year and say, okay, back on March the 25th or whatever it was, this happened, and this is how we grew from that point.
Absolutely.
Well, it has been an interesting and enjoyable game. As we said, it was close in the beginning, 4-3 at the end of the one period, but that second period, when John Carroll put on a blitz of 5 goals, sort of put the game out of reach. And again, we said it a couple times, that goal right at the end of the first half, I think maybe was the backbreaker.
That one's gonna sting for him a little bit because no one wants that.
And Fallston came back in that fourth period, was able to score several goals and make the game very, very interesting toward the end. Jackie Cummings, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this contest here from Fallston High School, where the John Carroll Patriots have won the game 2 years in a row. Now they've defeated the Fallston Cougars, and hopefully this will be a yearly event, John Carroll versus Fallston.
It's looking like it.
And hopefully we can be on hand for it. So again, thanks for tuning in. I'm Don Morrison, my partner Jackie Cummings. Hope you've enjoyed it. Good night, everyone.